Congrats, Alastair. First off, I suppose, what did you make of that final quarter where you sort of released the shackles and came really hard?
Yeah, 1 from 1 at Bunbury. So home game, so it's special for us to win here. Our leaders really stood up in the last quarter, which is, we played a game against Collingwood, a fortnight ago, and it was their leaders that really stood up in the last quarter, and it was a 3-point ball game at 3/4 time, and they just went away with the game. So we're pleased that it was our turn this week to leaders step up. Big X in the ruck was superb. Luke Parker, Jai Simpkin, Harry Sheasel, those guys that were really pivotal to us, getting some scoreboard ascendancy and keeping the game in our half, which we've been unable to do for 3 quarters. The Eagles, to their credit, their pressure that they applied, and that forced us into a lot of error. Sometimes when we're out, and we still made errors because of the pressure that the Eagles were able to apply. So they were really good in the first 3 quarters, and we just managed to hang in there. But looked like we were staring down the barrel of defeat. 10 minutes into the last quarter, I think we're nearly 3 goals down. So to win that game from that position is a real credit to the players.
Was it the Eagles' pressure the main thing that stopped you from being able to play the way you played in that last quarter, though, for the first 3, or was it a mix of that and the execution, or the inability to execute?
Yeah, well, combination of all those things. We'd fumble ball. I thought they were cleaner than us in and around the contest in the first part of the game, particularly second and third quarters. We started okay, but we just had some really open plays that you just think, oh, wow, we're going to score here. And just somehow we managed to give it back to the opposition. And probably they were saying, they'd be really disappointed that I think they were 1-11 before they kicked their second goal or something like that. So they had an enormous amount of inside 50s and weren't able to convert those chances. So they'd be pleased that they got the amount of inside 50s, but obviously disappointed that they didn't convert those chances. So both sides had their chances, but we had some really open plays that we just couldn't convert. So we didn't even get it through for the points. At least they were able to score. So, but yeah, we're just pleased that for the middle part of the game, we were really battling to get any fluency with our ball moving, and we found a way in the last quarter.
Not even that fluency though, like you won the clearances by 11 in the last quarter as well, so it was not just there but it was inside as well that you were able to really dominate. That must also be pleasing. Yeah,
and that's why how Big X was pivotal in the ruck. He's line-hearted and had 10 clearances himself for the day, and over 20 possessions. So that's a pretty pivotal performance for a big fella. And I thought he's the most influential player on the ground in the second half.
What was the message at 3/4 time? They were dominating so much at that point, but you're still in it because of their inaccuracy. So was that the message that you sort of gave them?
Yeah, and just to hang in there, and it's just like we haven't been playing anywhere near our best, and it's difficult. Perhaps because we haven't played at this ground on a frequent basis, but just getting used to the bounce of the ball and the size of the oval, a whole heap of factors. Now we've got to make it work for us because this is our home ground for the next couple of years at least. So the facility itself is outstanding, and the surface is outstanding. We just didn't seem to adjust very well to it for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but the last quarter. We made a couple of tweaks, but most of it was around just winning the contest and getting the ball forward. And as I said, our leaders, just balls that seemed to pop into West Coast Eagles' hands in the first part of the game. In the last quarter, though, a big spoil or something, they were landing in our hands. So some of it is just a little bit of fortune, really. But really pleased that our guys just hung in there and didn't turn their toes up and gave themselves a chance. As I said, we're 3 goals down halfway through the last quarter, so it wasn't looking great. But they found a way, strong resolve, and pleasing that our leaders led the way.
You touched on Luke Parker before, and you see his performance out there. That's why you brought him to the club, to have that experience and just to stand up in moments like that. Yeah,
and Caladania was really important for us behind the ball, and Harry Sheasel got going in the second half. He's a little bit quiet by his standards in the first half, but he was really important, and Colby McKirch's run and bounce off half-back. We changed him up and put him behind the ball this week, and he gave us some real dash, and he was trying to do that all game, but it really materialised for us in the last part of the game. His last quarter was really, really important for us.
Like you've said a couple of times, this is your home for this year and another 2 years. It seemed like you had a really strong support out here too. You've been involved in those Tasmanian deals as well. How important is it when you have a place like this that you've sold games to, that not only that you win here, but you also make it something that's worthwhile just coming down to outside of just the money, I suppose?
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, it's such a fertile football area, outside of, us as a footy club having a lot of Western Australians. I think we've got 7 or 8 on our list from born and bred Western Australians. But historically, our club has had a really, really strong link. Brownlow medalists in Glendenning and the cracker magic of Jimmy and Phil and many others. So our connection to the West has been really, really strong. And to get an opportunity to play some home games, it's such a fertile football state in terms of their passion for AFL footy, and it just seems like for the state, 2 teams isn't enough. So we've provided them with the 3rd team, and we're happy to do so. With Tassie coming in, we had to find another base that could provide us with the opportunity to have a nice, happy marriage. We get paid some money to come and play games here, but we'd love coming here to play and foster a relationship with the people of the southwest here. A lot of people, a lot of locals here, and a lot came down from Perth, obviously Eagles fans, and then there's a stack that have jumped on planes, which I'm sure is pleased Tourism WA, who made the significant investment in terms of getting North to come over here and play games of footy. So I think there's 12 or 13,000 people here, and hopefully we can build on that in years to come.
You've got a really young group though too. The fact that you've come over here for 10 days, I think you've got Adam and Danny Laidley coming to address the players later this or next week. And how important is it to use this time away to create a different, or to build on a culture, I suppose, and create different relationships and advance this young group?
Yeah. Well, because we're here for 10 days or thereabouts, the opportunity to connect with all these people that have been North Melbourne followers for a long period of time, as I said, because of Glendenning and the Cracker brothers and Graham Melrose and Phil Kelly and Barry Cable. These sorts of guys have been hugely influential at our footy club in past decades. But then you got Simo, who he was a great shin boner and he came across to the West here to coach West Coast, and Daniel Laidley. So we'll connect with those people as much as we possibly can over the next 10 days, and allow our younger players in particular to appreciate just how influential Western Australian footy has been on our footy club, despite the fact that they're 2,500 kilometres apart. It's been a pretty special connection over the history of our club.
You lose Charlie Comden in that 3rd quarter. Are you able to give us an update on him and just how you're sort of tracking from him? Yeah,
we're uncertain. He'll need to get a scan. He just got a knee in his upper back in a marking contest, and had a fair amount of discomfort. So we just need to assess what it is. He's had shoulder troubles before, but this seems to be not the shoulder as much as it is sort of upper back. So I think possibly it's just a knee in a marking contest, and I'm not sure if that's going to be bruised or if there's some sort of other damage, but we'll get that assessed. He didn't sort of return to full function after he got assessed by the docs, and we that stage of the game you're nearly ready to use your sub anyway. So unfortunately he got subbed out of the game, and we just hope for the best that his scan comes back with no significant damage.
He was the number 7 ranked interceptor in the game heading into today. How big a loss is that if he can't play next week?
Yeah, but it's as you see with players, Gov's not playing for West Coast, at the minute, and these key players are great players for a reason. I wish you had them out there, but that's the game, isn't it? So if Charlie's scan result is not promising and he needs to miss next week or the next slab of time, then we just need to replace him with the next bloke up. No worries, good on you guys. Thank you.
See you during the week.
Cheers.